Hello. I know I've put a lot more effort into the thumbnail this time, but don't worry, it's still little old me and my fun little language learning updates. I've had a very intense month of traveling, which included the polyglot gathering, see my last update for my stories, but I finally have the time to sit down and do some focused language learning again. So I think it's time for another chat. Before we get to the thing in the title, what's been going on? Let me know in the comments what you've been up to. As for me, as promised and prophesied for months on end, I finally did my Welsh exam. Don't have the results yet, but you know what? Give me a like anyway. I also did my second British Sign Language exam, and the third and final one is coming next week. And then I went to the Easy Polish birthday party. I might be showing up in some videos here and there, but finally this week I'm home and I decided to do 4 italki speaking lessons in 4 languages in 1 week. If you've seen my streams, you might know that I'm quite the input heavy learner rather than the speak till you're fluent type. What you might not know is that I've been taking italki lessons continuously for years now. So why do I need them anyway? That's what I want to talk about. It's not just a generic, oh, I need to practice speaking, but rather I have quite specific reasons and specific things to work on each level of language learning. So welcome to Rhapsody in Lingo. My name is Israel and my brain is fried. Normally, I can't really afford the time to make a whole video dedicated to one learning activity, or leave a comment if you want me to. So I'm lucky that italki itself is sponsoring the video, which means that I get the excuse to talk about this and also to take a bunch of lessons and activate my old languages. Alright, hear me out, okay? Between you and me, we already know what italki is. It's the online language learning platform where you get personalized one-to-one lessons with native level teachers without needing a subscription as well, because you book and pay for each lesson one by one. You don't need me to tell you that. And you have heard me talk, without being paid to, about taking lessons in a huge variety of languages, including the niche ones that I'm interested in, anywhere with internet. I'm pretty sure I've done a few cafe lessons already. And I've already shown you examples of me getting real-time feedback and guidance from my expert teachers. So all they're doing is give me money to talk about something that I was going to talk about anyway. Not the best deal for them. But you will get the best deal because you're going to go and click the link in the description to start your language learning journey. But be quick, because the first 50 of you who use my promo code Rhapsody will get $5 of credits for free when you buy your first $10 of credits for your first lesson. Now let's go through my experience level by level, because I don't think you've seen me being a beginner quite yet. So on day 1, I had a Gaelic lesson with Daniel from Ireland, which was kind of cool. It was 100%, no joke, my first ever time speaking Scottish Gaelic. I'm actually a bit nervous now, which is weird. First time speaking a language that I wasn't even intending to learn. Hello. Because I honestly wasn't planning to learn it seriously. It's one of those languages that I'm dabbling in for a while, and I've learned bits and bobs of like fun facts about the language from Samuel, who you might have seen on the channel.
In general, it's just clinician, so hienig would be box.
So like hienig me computer.
Hienig me computer, yeah.
Oh, I can't he me computer. Okay.
Exactly.
And well, lately I've been in a PhD thesis writing mode, so I'm going to tell you my goals for each level and then things I did to work towards those goals. And on this beginner level, like absolute beginner, first time ever speaking the language, my goal was to turn some essential phrases and structures into second nature. At least I hope to. Like, it's a kind of a lofty goal. But I want to be so confident in these basic stuff that I don't have to think about them.
Perfect.
Hamiotiction.
I understand
Hamiotiction.
it.
So I started by asking Daniel how to say certain useful things, some phrases and questions that are helpful within the context of a lesson. So I asked things like, how do you say like, I want to ask something, or I have a question?
Okay. To say like, if you don't understand the word or you want to like ask what a word means, that's kind of like, what does X mean?
Ah, what about how do you say something? So like I could have said like Jeha Shine Akilari.
Exactly. Jeha shine kilochui.
And on top of that, obviously we practiced some basic phrases and conversation, and he sort of guided me through some things I need to know about the language. But also, I had a trick up my sleeve. I already planned some certain phrases I wanted to try on him. Kaartje hoe vorig. Hoe vorig.
Hamische furach aan een Spaan. Agus uin, catch really een furach.
Gaan we vorig gaan in Manchester.
Spain, yeah.
And that includes some fun questions like Carson ha Gaelic Nahalaban Agad, because it's not his first language.
So va Gaelic na Hayden agum.
Yeah, could guess most of the words from the context. Uriste, Nunavamin.
Yeah.
Inchinich. But one important thing that I did during this lesson that will be very useful moving forwards as I learn more of the language is that through having this real conversation, I started figuring out the phrases that I will need in a conversation of this sort. Because, well, for one, I don't have a mental list quite yet. Maybe I should make one, but my list might differ from other people's lists. Like you could go and get like a list of basic phrases to use in the language, yes, but also everyone speaks differently, and the kind of stuff that you might say is unique to you. By having this real conversation, I realized, okay, so if I want to speak more of this language, I'm going to have to practice saying specifically this, and it is my idiolect, my version of the language, even though I'm just starting out.
Yeah, no problem, perfect.
Oh, how do you say no problem?
Genial triplage or nagav drag.
Nagav drag. Jan. Again, Jana, can you repeat that? Oh, how do you say can you repeat that? That's a useful one. I've also frequently asked how to say something within a certain context, rather than just, can you translate this into the language? Let's say if I want you said something and I want you to write it down, what would I say? Would I ask, can you write it down? Or is it like, write it down, please?
Yeah. We phrase it more like English, like could you know?
Oh, okay.
So there's a verb like...
I have no idea. Oh, how do you say I have no idea? Oh, sorry. Geralik had, I have no idea.
Genial cluagum.
And also, even if I'm having some basic, completely beginner conversations, I've tried to slip in a bit of extra bits that I know, again, from self-learning, so that I can like try them out and practice saying those things. Kamil ho.
Hagma. Agsi?
Hamiguma.
And yourself?
Kujak.
Hagma.
Hamigodoyle. One memorable thing was when he asked me a question that I didn't understand, I managed to get the word that I didn't understand purely from context.
Je nakananen. Hagits.
Je nakananen. I'm trying to guess what it is. I don't know this word. It's plural. Kanan.
So, my Russian play is Gaelic, Canon, Berla, Frankish, Spanish, Geramaltish, Cantonish, Kajok, and Canon.
Okay. Languages. And afterwards, I immediately bounced the question back because I was like, if I'm learning this, I might as well use it right now. Jena Canon Ahakat.
Agimhin she Berla, Gaelic na Halabis, Gaelic na Hayden, Frankish agus Spanish na Kana Hagin.
Spanish. Now let's move on to day 2, which I think was the biggest challenge for me personally, because it was French. And if you don't know me, I've had a very difficult relationship with the French language because I've learnt it for so long, but haven't become fluent yet. So every time I say something wrong, I feel a little bit like a failure in this lesson. I booked a lesson with Louis Cal, who's from Quebec City, because you know, I love them spicy accents. I have a track record on this channel, and thankfully he had looked at my Quebec content before the lesson.
C'est très intéressant, c'est bien, c'est bon, c'est bien présenté. C'est bien nuancé aussi, ça c'est vraiment super bien.
So in a very weird way, he already knew exactly how much French, for one, and also how much Quebec French I spoke, and also how I felt about the language before we even said a single word to each other. So with this intermediate, let's say, level, my main goal is to change my passive vocabulary into active, because I think for many Anglophones as well, French is relatively easy to understand because of similar vocabulary. Also, I've done a lot of reading and listening in the past, a long time ago, so I understand a lot of stuff. I also know that I have a lot of rusty French in me that I need to force out. Tout le monde parle l'anglais, donc c'est pris pour acquis. And on the way, I might realize what expressions that I use are unnatural or blatantly translation-y, which means like it sounds exactly like I translated it from English, which happens a lot when you learn French from English. I'm serious. Mais dis-moi si y a une façon d'exprimer quelque chose plus naturellement en français. Je veux pas faire des calques. C'est un challenge qui est...
Challenge est un mot à l'origine française. Qui a disparu de la langue française.
Ah oui?
Dans les années médiévales, on parle de l'époque médiévale.
C'est quoi?
Donc,
je sais,
si
Non, j'ai oublié. C'est quoi en français?
Un défi.
Un défi, oui, un défi. So I want to fix those problems. And lastly, I want to build fluidity in my French. And when I can't talk about something, I want to practice how to talk around it, like find a different way to express something. So while we were chatting, while he was talking, I spent a lot of time listening very carefully, not only to understand what he's saying, obviously, it was a challenge, but I wanted to notice certain phrases. So in my brain, I was silently analyzing words and expressions that I heard, and also additionally pronunciations, because I wanted to learn his accent. So like sometimes when he said a word I was like, oh wait, hold on, that sounds different from what I was expecting, I would just repeat it right away. And when I'm speaking myself, I would do a lot of self-correction, like figuring out, did I just do that wrong? If I'm not sure, I ask him explicitly, such that I'm not waiting for his correction. Quelle est la colocation? Dans cette vitesse ou en...
À cette vitesse.
À cette vitesse. À cette vitesse. J'ai pas été à Hong Kong depuis quelques années.
C'est bien, c'est ça. Dans la structure que tu as utilisée, c'était correct, c'était bien de l'utiliser avec le passé composé. Je ne suis pas allé à Hong Kong depuis très longtemps. Ça fait longtemps que je ne suis... Ça fait très longtemps. Sometimes the teachers will be like, it's fine, it's just a one-time mistake, we don't have to fix this. And that is also true. But if I want to make sure of something, like intensely, I will ask the teacher. Especially if I want to confirm if something sounds natural, or again, is it translated from English. J'ai acheté quelques... il s'appelle comment? On dit souvenirs aussi en français? Souvenirs.
J'ai acheté quelques souvenirs à Québec. I particularly noticed that with French, I had a lot of tip of the tongue moments because I understand French so well, but I don't speak it very well. And these are moments when I vaguely know what the word looks like or sounds like, but not exactly. Sometimes it's like the first sound or letter, sometimes it's the root. Like, je savais pas que c'est une règle artificielle.
Ouais, c'est quand même assez
artificielle, mais c'est maintenant c'est très controversé.
Controversé. Controverse, ce serait le nom. Puis c'est très controversé, là, ça serait l'adjectif.
J'ai envie de parler d'une façon parfaite, bien que je sache que c'est pas possible. Quand
bien que je sache.
Bien que je sache. Je savais que c'est subjonctif, mais j'ai oublié le... And also, even though I try to talk around things I don't know, if there are situations where I know that I knew the word at some point in my life, I try very hard to recall the word, even if it takes like a while. And then when finally I give up and then he reminds me, I attempt to use the word again later on so that it helps me consolidate the word ASAP. On day 3, I booked a lesson with Anwilin, who taught me last summer, so we kind of know each other, even though like we haven't had a lot of lessons before.
Oh, hello.
Hello. If you want to learn with her, it will be very easy to find her. Her name is so incredibly unique, literally just the first name and you'll find her on Google. The fun thing about talking to her is we have kind of like, I guess it's the way we talk as well, even though we speak very different dialects. She has a way of like completing my sentences, like in a good way, not in an annoying way. Yeah, dwi ddim yn gwybod beth sydd wedi digwydd.
Gyda'r amser.
Yeah, gyda'r amser. So kind of like my intermediate one, on this upper intermediate level, my goal is to use natural and or precise expressions, but especially the last part, because now in this language I'm able to talk around something quite well. I've had a lot of practice talking to my other classmates and also into the press, to the I don't know, podcasts and newspapers. But to improve my language, I need to force myself to use more advanced and precise vocabulary. And that also means making mistakes. Dwi'n mwynhau cael siarad wyneb I wyneb. Wel, dim wyneb I wyneb, ond un
wrth un, ie.
Un, be?
Un wrth un.
Un wrth un. Gwneud cymaint o pethau ychwanegol, mwy na'r arfer. Mwy nag arfer? Mwy nag arfer. And I need to do that. Like, I need to ask what's the best way to express this. Sut yn disgrifio rhywun sydd ddim eisiau aros?
Anamyneddgar.
Anamyneddgar. Ro'n i'n anamyneddgar. Or like, if I think I've heard a better way to express something, to phrase something, I will try to think about, oh, where have I seen that? Why is it better? Why does it sound nicer or more natural or more advanced or more native? And beyond that, I've tried to force myself to come up with more varied expressions or structures. Because on an intermediate level, I might just use the same word again and again, but like on an upper intermediate level, when I want to repeat the same word again, I'm like, can I use a different word or can I use a different phrasing to express that? Dwi'n astudio, dwi fod I orffen cyn bo hir yn aml iawn. Oes yna ffordd arall I ddeud yn aml iawn? Rhan fwyaf o'r amser. Gan amlaf. Dwi'n gwybod bod yna ffordd arall, ond dwi ddim yn cofio. All of those things, I'd rather ask questions than avoid something. I have a similar challenge on this level as the previous one, with the tip of the tongue moment. Like, I can recall roughly how the word looks like, or how it sounds like, but not the whole thing. Of course, dwi ddim wedi bod yn siarad Cymraeg ers gydol fy mywyd I? Drwy gydol mywyd I. But quite often on this level, I can successfully fish the word out of my memory. Mae yna gymaint o eiriau sydd dim ond yn cael ei ddefnyddio mewn llyfrau, mewn llenyddiaeth? Llenyddiaeth.
Yn gyfan gwbl, ble yng Nghymru wyt ti wedi ymweld?
Yn bennaf?
Yn bennaf, ie.
Dwi byth yn cofio pennaf neu penodol. And one thing I'm very keen on doing is ask, how do you usually say something? A bod yn honest, dwi ddim yn gwybod llawer o bethau am Gymru o gwbl, ac eithriad am yr iaith. Sut wyt ti'n arfer deud except, neu just other than?
Yn eithrio, ie. Oni bai am, falle.
Oni bai am? Because in this language, but also like different languages in general, on this level, I'm aware that there are multiple ways to express something, but I don't know which one fits this context the best. Like in this colloquial kind of speaking context, or like when I'm talking about this topic, rather than some other topic, one might fit better than the other. So I would ask, which one would you say if you were me, rather than just which is correct, because I know both are correct. Or like sometimes it's like, oh, I know the correct version of this, but I suspect people don't really say that. So wel dwi wedi dysgu bod yn llai swir ar ôl symud I Brydain, ond serch hynny, dwi'n deud serch hynny, serch hynny, dwi ddim yn... And through these moments, like if I learn something or recall something, I use it again. Like I ask for clarification, I make mistakes, I use these mistakes to help me etch the word in memory, and also I intently make connections between words. Controversial. Dadleuol, achos mae pobl yn dadleuol.
Nani.
Dadleuol. And just like on the previous level, I also focus a lot on like what I'm hearing, and when I pick up a word that is interesting or useful, I repeat it at least under my breath, or like I say it out loud, so that I make connections in my brain between this word and this type of topic and conversation.
Diwedd yn dod. Wedi gweld y terfyn.
Ydy, dwi'n gweld terfyn. Dwi'n gweld y terfyn.
Ti yn ymgeisio I siarad Cymraeg a phobl.
Ymgeisio.
Mae'n dda, o da.
Lastly, on day 4, on the advanced level, I had a lesson with Albert, who has taught me for a long time before, and also he has been on this channel. You might have seen him if you've been subscribed for a long time. If you haven't, well, subscribe now, for one, most importantly, but also see my older video with him in it, where I tried to do exactly this for like a whole month. So when I started the lesson, I know that my Polish is advanced, so I asked him to correct anything I say that doesn't sound natural, even if it is correct. Czasami też trochę pozmieniałem swój język, żeby to wszystko było trochę
Znaczy
łatwiej.
dostosowałeś, tak? Do odbiorców.
Tak. Dostosowałem.
Czyli rozmawiałeś w trochę innym rejestrze, niż byś rozmawiał u siebie tam, tak? Mieszkając w kraju anglojęzycznym, tak?
Tak, w innym rejestrze, ale jak chcę coś wyrazić, to muszę poświęcić dużo wysiłków, żeby wyrazić to w sposób bardziej prosty. Prostymi słowami.
Włożyć dużo wysiłku, wiesz? Raczej wkładamy wysiłek, tak? Poświęcamy czas, poświęcamy, nie wiem, pieniądze, ale wkładamy wysiłek w coś.
Okej. Muszę
tak
wkładać dużo wysiłków, żeby sprościć wszystko. What he did quite often is subtly correct me while I'm talking by like echoing what I just said, but like in a more natural way, so that I would notice, because he knows I notice. So he would just say something and I would pick it up and then remember it, hopefully. No jest typowy wzór, że babcia mówi tym dialektem, potem matka rozumie, ale nie mówi, potem ja już nie rozumiem.
No tak. To jest klasyczny. Tak, schemat wszystkich przy zanikaniu większości języków.
He also picked on, like in a good way, picked on my English brain, like when I said, mam przeróżnych uczniów, z przeróżnych
Ale chodzi o słowo background po angielsku, tak?
Tak,
czyli...
tak.
Nie, raczej nie. Że mam ludzi z przeróżną historią, tak bym powiedział, nie?
Z przeróżną historią.
Biografią ewentualnie.
And I've been in situations where I just knew from my gut feeling that there's going to be a specific combination of words for what I'm trying to say. I just haven't heard it yet, so I'll just ask for it, because I want to learn that specific word combinations. Necessary relationship, czyli nie jest koniecznie związane.
Nie ma tego... Jeszcze raz? Powiązane?
Nie są koniecznie powiązane. No,
tak, nie jest to koniecznie ze sobą powiązane. Tak? Nie jest to
koniecznie ze sobą powiązane. What I really enjoyed on this level was discussing tiny nuances in meaning between like synonyms. Ale potem umarła, tak?
Tak, umarła.
Umarła, zmarła. Nie pamiętam, które jest poprawne. Ona nie była dla mnie zbyt bliska, bo czy widzieliśmy, czy widywaliśmy się raz w tygodniu?
Widywaliśmy się raz
w tygodniu.
Widywaliśmy się, zakłada jakąś regularność, nie?
Or how different people might pronounce a certain thing differently. No to mnie nie dziwi, bo znam się na tych językach mniejszościowych.
Mhm.
No,
No
nie,
tak.
nie jako ekspert raczej, po prostu dużo czytam o nich i słyszę.
Czyli hobbystycznie, tak? To
Hobbystycznie. Hobbystycznie?
Hobbystycznie, tak. W sensie piszemy to hobbystycznie. No i są Polacy, którzy powiedzą hobbystycznie, a są Polacy, którzy powiedzą hobbystycznie, nie? To zależy trochę jak znasz angielski. Ale znam ludzi, którzy mówią weekend na przykład, nie? A nie weekend. No,
Ale to lepiej pasuje do monologii polskiego.
Dokładnie tak.
One thing that I particularly focused on is like structural phrases, like combinations of words that I understand very well, but rarely use.
Znam jednego człowieka, który jest specjalistą od Gruzji w kontekście...
Od Gruzji. So like in English you have things like with respect to, with the view to, in the view of. Oh shit, I need to learn English. With the aim of, with the help of, and so on. Ale to, czy to jest, wynika z tego puryzmu, czy... So, when he uses ones very naturally that I understand, I would write them down on a note sheet somewhere, so that I remind myself that I want to use that at some point, maybe during this conversation or in another one. And when I'm speaking myself, I try to sprinkle in. Sometimes I take like an extra second to think of that exact phrasing.
Tłumaczenie nawet z słownika języka polskiego wygląda w ten sposób.
15 minutes later.
To brzmi w sposób raczej nie polski.
No tak. Tak.
Czyli ten przykład z Fidżi to nie był... jak się mówi? Wyssany z palca?
Nie był wyssany z palca, bardzo dobrze, tak jest. Nie był wyssany z palca.
So, there you have it. These are my specific reasons for why I might want one-on-one speaking tutors on top of like regular self-study or joining a class. And also now you know what I try to aim for on each level. I feel like those are things that people might not be talking about quite often. So I hope that my strategies will also prove useful for you guys. And on your journey, if you need extra support to revise your lesson content or consolidate your knowledge, italki have also introduced italki Plus, an optional premium subscription that helps you generate your own personalized language learning materials in the blink of an eye and learn faster. They have things like lesson summaries, personalized practice, progress tracking, and just to sweeten the pot, the italki language certification for free if you get the yearly plan. You can get a 1-month free trial to italki Plus right now. I hope this has been helpful. Go out there and speak to your native speakers. Remember again, use my code Rhapsody to get $5 extra when you buy your first $10 credits. Happy learning, and I'll see you in the next one.